Okay, now we are moving to the next periodic property, and this periodic property is entirely new for you. You have not learned about this property in your 10th class, so try to understand this thing and listen very carefully. So the second periodic property that we are going to discuss is ionization enthalpy. So first we'll understand the meaning of this term ionization enthalpy. Okay, now see this diagram. Now in this diagram, in the center, nucleus is there, and this is the electron which is revolving around the nucleus. This is my outermost electron, that is the electron which is present in the valence, that is outermost shell. This electron is experiencing the force of attraction by the nucleus. Nucleus is attracting this electron. Greater is the force of attraction, more tightly the electron is held. It is closer to the nucleus. Now, suppose if I want to remove this electron out of this atom, completely out of the atom, what we have to do? We have to break this force of attraction. And for breaking this force of attraction, we have to supply some energy. And this energy which we are supplying to remove the electron from this atom is known as ionization enthalpy. So what is basically ionization enthalpy? The energy which you are supplying to the atom so that the outermost electron is lost. Greater is the force of attraction between nucleus and electron, more energy you have to supply. Now, how to define it? So definition comes in the examination. So what is the definition of ionization enthalpy? The definition is the minimum amount of energy required to remove the most loosely bound electron. Most loosely bound electron means outermost electron, because it is not possible to remove inner electrons first. Okay, so first outer electrons are lost and then inner electron. So remove the most loosely bound electron from an isolated gaseous atom of an element to form isolated gaseous cation. So this equation is representing, now M is in the gaseous state, IE means ionization enthalpy or the energy which I am supplying. It will change to M plus and electron is lost. Now what is the meaning of the sentence isolated gaseous atom? Now listen carefully. If I want to remove an electron from an atom, first I have to change that atom to the gaseous state. Because what happens in solids and liquids, the atoms are closely packed. And when the atoms are closely packed, the intermolecular attractions are operating between the atoms. So it is not possible to pull out the electron from the atom easily. So what we do, first we convert that particular atom into gaseous state and then we can remove the electron. Okay, now since it is the energy, so what is the unit of energy? It is joules or kilojoules. So the unit is kilojoules per mole. Mole you know, and we'll discuss this mole concept in detail in our classroom teaching. Per mole, for 1 mole. And what is the symbol for this ionization enthalpy? It is delta HI. I indicates ionization, delta means change, H indicates enthalpy. Now, on what factors this ionization enthalpy depends? The first factor is size of atom. Now consider 2 atoms. Now this atom is smaller in size, this atom is larger in size. Now you can see the difference. Now here the distance between nucleus and electron is less, and here the distance is increasing. So what happens, as the atomic size increases, the distance between nucleus and electron also increases. The magnitude of attractive force between nucleus and electron is inversely related to size through the distance. So if the distance between nucleus and electron is increasing, the magnitude of attractive force will decrease. So what will happen when the size increases? This attractive force decreases, and outermost electrons are loosely held by the nucleus. And if outermost electrons are loosely held, you have to supply less energy. They will be given out more easily. Less energy means the ionization enthalpy will decrease. So when atomic size increases, nuclear attraction on the outer electron decreases, It is more easy to remove the electrons, so ionization enthalpy decrease. Now, the second factor which affect the ionization enthalpy is nuclear charge. Nuclear charge means power of nucleus, number of protons. As nuclear charge increases, the nuclear power increases. Nuclear power to attract the electrons increases. So if nuclear power to attract the electrons is increasing, more energy we have to supply to remove the electron. So definitely attractive force increases, so ionization enthalpy will increase. So ionization enthalpy is inversely related to size, but it is directly related to nuclear charge. So I think these 2 points are clear to you, because afterwards we have to discuss the variation of this ionization enthalpy in period and in group, and there we'll use these 2 things. Now comes the third factor, that is screening effect of inner electrons. This screening effect we have learnt in that atomic size property. What was the screening effect? Down the group, the number of inner electrons are increasing. These inner electrons are screening the nucleus. So the nuclear attraction is not reaching to the outer electrons. The outer electrons are moving away from the nucleus. So they can be easily removed now. So what happens when screening effect of inner electrons increase? As the number of inner electrons increase, screening effect increases. So outer electrons do not feel the full charge of nucleus, and since outer electrons are not feeling the full attraction of nucleus, they can be easily removed. So what will happen? We have to supply less energy, so ionization enthalpy will decrease. So as size increases, ionization enthalpy decreases. As nuclear charge increases, ionization enthalpy increases. As screening effect increases, the ionization enthalpy decreases. Now let's move to the fourth point, that is penetration effect of electrons. Okay, the fourth point is penetration effect of electrons. Now what is the meaning of penetration effect? As the electrons lie close to the nucleus, which is also known as penetration power of electrons. So as the electrons are lying close to nucleus, they are more tightly held by the nucleus. Nuclear attraction will be more. So more energy we have to supply, and ionization enthalpy will increase, or it will be more. Now for a given shell, the order of penetration power of electrons is S, P, D and F. Now what is the meaning of this S, P, D, F? So I have one sheet that will explain this thing to you. Now listen carefully, although this explanation is a part of unit number 2, that is structure of atom. Okay, and in that unit, in our classroom teaching, we'll discuss this thing in detail. Now that how electrons are distributed in the atom. Okay, now in 10th class we have learnt about shells. In the center, nucleus is there. The nucleus is surrounded by shells. First is K shell, then L shell, then M shell, then N shell. So K shell is your first shell, it is your second shell, it is your third shell, and it is your fourth shell. Now in 11th class we'll learn another concept, that is the shell is further divided into subshell. Okay, so first shell is having only one subshell, that is known as S subshell. The second shell is having two subshells. First is S and second is P. The third shell is having three subshells. One is S, one is P, the third one is D. So definitely how many subshells will be there in the fourth shell? So fourth shell will be having four subshells, S, P, D and F. And suppose if I ask you how many subshells will be there in your fifth shell, it will be number of subshells will be 5. Now the subshells are again divided into orbitals. So how your atom is divided? In the center, nucleus is there. Nucleus is surrounded by shells. Shells are further divided into subshells, and subshells are further divided into orbitals. And ultimately in these orbitals, the electrons are found. The electrons are filled in the orbitals inside the atom. Now, orbitals I am representing by boxes. Okay, so the K shell, that is the first shell, is having only one subshell and it is having only one orbital, and this orbital is 1s. 1s means it is belonging to the first shell, an s subshell. Now second shell is having two subshells, s and p. The s subshell is having only one orbital, 2s. And the p subshell is having three orbitals. Now three boxes are there, so these are 2p. So s is having only one orbital and p is having three orbitals. Now again, the third shell is having s, p and d, three subshells. So s will be having one orbital, that is denoted by 3s. P will be having three orbitals, denoted by 3p, and d will be having five orbitals, 3d. So s always has one orbital, p has three orbitals, and d has five orbitals. Likewise, in the fourth shell, s, p, d, f, four subshells are there. So this first subshell is having one orbital, that is 4s. P is having three orbitals, that is 4p. D is having 5 orbitals, 4d, and F has 7 orbitals. The order is 1, 3, 5, 7. 1 orbital for S, 3 for P, for D 5, and for F it is 7. Now electrons are ultimately filled in the orbital. This is how the filling of electron occurs. This we'll discuss in detail in unit number 2 in our classroom teaching. Okay, now since s orbital is always alone, it is single, so 2 electrons will come. Okay, one orbital can have only 2 electrons. Now p orbitals are 3 in number, so total number of electrons will be 6 in p. D orbitals are 5 in number, so total number of electrons will be 10. And F orbitals are 7 in number, so total number of electrons will be 14. So this is how the electrons are filled in the orbital. 2, 2, 6, 2, 6, 10, like this. And this is known as electronic configuration of elements that we'll learn in unit number 2. Now see this diagram. This is how your orbitals or subshells or shells are located. This is nucleus, this is K shell, this is 1s orbital, this is L shell, this is 2s, and this is 2p. 3 orbitals will be there. This is 3s, this is 3p and 3d. So this is the meaning of penetration power. Okay, I explained this thing only because to explain this penetration power. What is the meaning of penetration power? For this we require the knowledge of SPDF. Okay, so if I see close to the nucleus, my 1s orbital is there. After 1s, my 2s orbital will come. After 2s, 2p orbitals are present. Afterwards 3s, then 3p, and then 3d. This is known as penetration power. So as the electrons lie closer to the nucleus, ionization enthalpy will increase. And what is the order of penetration power? Now we have seen the diagram. So S is closest, then P, then D, and then F. Since S electrons are more closer to the nucleus, so they will experience more nuclear attraction as compared to P orbital of the same shell. Okay, because shell should be same. For example, we can compare 2s and 2p together. We can compare 3s, 3p and 3d together. So out of 2s and 2p, which is more closer to the nucleus? 2s. Out of 3s, 3p and 3d, which is more closer to the nucleus? 3s, then 3p, then 3d. So for a given shell, now if the s electrons are more closer to the nucleus, they will experience more nuclear attraction. So more energy is required to remove s electron than to remove p electron, then to remove d electron, and so on. And this effect is known as penetration effect. And this effect will come when we'll discuss the variation of this ionization enthalpy in the period. Okay. Now comes the next and the last factor which affects the value of ionization enthalpy, that is electronic configuration. When the configuration is half filled. Now what is the meaning of half filled configuration? That will come afterwards. But fully filled, you know, noble gas is a fully filled configuration. So half filled and fully filled configurations are quite stable configuration. You know this thing, noble gases are quite stable because they have fully filled, they have complete octets. And hence for these, ionization enthalpy is high, because once the configuration is stable, that element will neither lose electron nor gain electron. And suppose if I want to remove the electron from that stable configuration, I have to supply more energy. So for half filled and fully filled configuration, the value of ionization enthalpy is always high. So we have learned about the second periodic property, that is ionization enthalpy. What is the meaning of ionization enthalpy? Okay, what are the factors which are affecting the ionization enthalpy? So try to understand these things, okay, because this topic is new for you, and if any doubt is there, you can ask it. And in the next class we are going to discuss the variation of ionization enthalpy in period and in group. Good morning, dear students. Now let's continue again with the second periodic property, that is ionization enthalpy. In the last class we discussed about ionization enthalpy. Now what is the meaning of ionization enthalpy? Suppose I have an isolated gaseous atom, and if I want to remove an electron, definitely the outermost electron will be lost first. So if I want to remove an electron from that atom, what I have to do? I have to supply some energy, and whatever energy I am supplying, that is known as ionization enthalpy. And ionization enthalpy depends upon various factors. This we have learned. That is, if the size is small, the electron will be tightly held, so more energy will be required. Likewise, nuclear charge, shielding effect of inner electrons, penetration effect. Okay, so these were the factors that we discussed in the last class. Now let's discuss the variation of ionization enthalpy, that how it varies when we move along a period or when we move down the group. So first is variation of ionization enthalpy along a period. Now this is my second period. Okay, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine and neon. And we'll be discussing the variation of ionization enthalpy in 11th class. We have two periods, second and third period. So we'll be getting questions from second and third period both. So whatever variation is there in the second period, the same variation is there in the third period also. Okay, and in the last class I told you that you have to learn atomic numbers up to 30. Okay, that much is required in 11th class. Okay, so now this is my second period, lithium to neon. Now as we move from left to right, what happens? The first is atomic size decreases. Okay, also nuclear charge increases. Now what the both factors are doing? Now the both factors are combined together. Size is also decreasing, nuclear charge is also increasing. It means the electrons are more and more tightly held by the nucleus. And if the electrons are more tightly held by the nucleus, we have to supply more energy to remove the electrons. It means what will happen? Electrons are tightly held, more energy is required to remove the electrons. It means as we move from left to right, the ionization enthalpy increases. Okay, so as we move from left to right in a period, second or third period, my ionization enthalpy will increase. It means more and more energy I have to supply to remove the electron. The first two members, lithium and beryllium, okay, they will lose electrons more readily because they are larger in size. That's why they are metals. Okay, and these members, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine, now they do not lose electrons readily. So that's why these are non-metals. You can relate the things. Okay, now there are two exceptions in the second period. The first exception is between beryllium and boron. Now see this period. Now beryllium is larger in size than boron. Okay, or we can say that boron is smaller in size than beryllium. It means the ionization enthalpy of boron should be more than beryllium. But experimentally they found that the ionization enthalpy of beryllium is greater than boron. Okay, beryllium, although it is larger in size, but its ionization enthalpy is more. More energy is required to remove the electron from beryllium. Now what is the reason behind this? The reason is the atomic number of beryllium is 4. Now listen very carefully. This is because electronic configuration will come here, and in the last class I told you how the electrons are filled in the orbitals. Which is the first orbital which is closest to the nucleus? It is 1s. After 1s, which orbital comes? 2s. Okay, 1s and 2s orbitals are single. Okay, just see in that sheet. And afterwards 2p orbitals come, and 2p orbitals are 3 in number. Okay, so atomic number of beryllium is 4. So first is my 1s orbital. In 1s orbitals 2 electrons will be filled. Second is my 2s orbital, and in 2s orbital again the 2 electrons will be filled. So what is the configuration of beryllium? So configuration is written like this: 1s2. So 1s is the orbital and 2 is the number of electrons. 1s2, 2s2. So in beryllium atomic number is 4. 4 electrons are there. So 2 electrons will enter 1s orbital, that is completely filled now, and 2 electrons will enter 2s orbital, that is also completely filled. And this is a way of writing electronic configuration. Okay, this we'll discuss in second unit. Now in case of boron, the atomic number is 5. 5 means now I have to fill 5 electrons. So 1s orbital 2 electrons occupy, Okay, now these arrows represent the spin of electron. You know, electron revolve around the nucleus, so it can be in clockwise or anti-clockwise. So these arrows represent the spin of electron. Okay, so 1s orbital is having 2 electrons. Now 2s orbital is having 2 electrons, so 4 electrons are over now. Now 2p orbitals are 3 in number, so the 5th electron will enter the 2p orbital. So what is the configuration of boron now? 1s2, that is 2 electrons in 1s orbital, 2s2, that is 2 electrons in 2s orbital, and 2p1, that is 1 electron is present in 2p orbital. Now both beryllium and boron has last electron in the second shell. Now this number indicates shell. So in beryllium also the electron is entering second shell, and in boron also the electron is entering the second shell. But in beryllium it enters 2s orbital, you can see, and in boron it enters 2p orbital, you can see. Since the penetration power of 2s is greater than 2p, in the last class we discussed about the penetration power. As compared to p orbital, s orbital is more closer to the nucleus. So the penetration power of s is greater than p, and greater is the penetration power, more tightly the electron is held by the nucleus. So penetration power of 2s is greater than 2p. So 2s electron is tightly held by the nucleus, and what will happen? Ionization enthalpy is more. So this is the first exception, that ionization enthalpy of beryllium is greater than boron, okay, because of the penetration effect. The second exception is between nitrogen and oxygen. Okay, again we'll write the electronic configuration. The atomic number of nitrogen is 7. 7 means I have to fill 7 electrons now. So 1s orbital will be having 2 electrons, 2s orbital will be having 2 electrons, and these are 2p orbitals. Okay, 2p orbitals are 3 in number, so 4 electrons are already occupied in 1s and 2s. Now 3 electrons will come here, and these orbitals are first filled single. Okay, this is a rule. Okay, first we have to fill, if 3 orbitals are together, first we have to fill them single. Clear? And in case of oxygen, now the atomic number of oxygen is 8, so 2 electrons will come in 1s, 2 electrons will come in 2s, and 2p will be having 4 electrons. So you can see first the orbitals are filled single, 1 1 1, and then this is pairing. Okay, so 4th electron is this. Clear? So the configuration of nitrogen is 1s2, 2 electrons in 1s, 2s2, 2 electrons in 2s, and 2p is having 3 electrons. Oxygen is having 1s2, 2s2, and 2p 4. Okay, now nitrogen has half filled configuration. What is the meaning of half filled? This is completely filled, this is completely filled, and this 2p orbitals now half. An orbital can accommodate 2 electrons. So what is the maximum capacity of 2p? It is 6 electrons, 2, 2, and 2. But in 2p now how many electrons are there? 3. So this is half filled configuration, and this we have learned in the last class, that whenever the configuration is half filled or fully filled, it is extremely stable configuration. So in nitrogen it is half filled configuration. Now what will be the meaning of fully filled configuration? That we'll discuss afterwards. Okay, so this is half filled configuration. 2p3 is half filled. Okay, so half filled configuration of nitrogen is more stable. So more energy is required to remove electron from nitrogen as compared to oxygen, because nitrogen is already stable, so it will not lose electron easily. So ionization enthalpy of nitrogen is greater than oxygen despite having larger size of nitrogen. So as we move from left to right in a period, the ionization enthalpy continuously increases, except to 2 places. The first is beryllium and boron. Here the penetration effect is working. Okay, and nitrogen and oxygen, here the half filled configuration is working. And the last is noble gases have maximum ionization enthalpy in the period due to fully filled stable configuration. Now here fully filled configuration comes. So what is the atomic number of neon? It is 10. 10 means I have to fill 10 electrons now. So 1s orbital is having 2 electrons, 2s orbitals 2 electrons, now remaining 6 electrons. So 2p orbital is fully filled. Now see, 2 electrons here, 2, 2, that is 1s2, 2s2, and 2p6. This is known as fully filled configuration. All the orbitals are completely occupied by the electrons, and since noble gases have completely filled configuration, so their ionization enthalpy is highest in their respective period. What is the variation of ionization enthalpy in a group? Now it's very simple. As we move down the group, my atomic size increases, shielding effect of inner electrons also increases. Okay, and shielding effect we have learned 2-3 times, that if shielding effect is more, the nuclear attraction is blocked by the inner electrons. So nuclear attraction will not reach to outer electrons. And what will happen? So electron become less and less firmly held by the nucleus, and in a group ionization enthalpy will decrease. It means as we move down the group, we have to supply less energy to remove the electron. Okay, it means the lower members of a group can lose electron easily. That's why down the group your metallic character increases, because what are metals which have tendency to lose electrons? So down the group, without any exception, the ionization enthalpy decreases. Now moving on to the next topic is successive ionization enthalpy. Now, what is the meaning of successive ionization enthalpy? Suppose I want to remove 3 electrons from an atom. All the 3 electrons will not be lost together. Okay, they will be lost one by one. Okay, first I will remove first electron, then I will remove second electron. So they are lost one after the other. Okay, so and every time we are removing the electron, we have to supply energy. So if I want to remove 3 electrons, 3 times I have to supply the energy. Okay, and this is known as successive ionization enthalpy. So if the gaseous atom is to lose more than 1 electron, these are removed one after the other. The energy is required to remove the subsequent electrons from an atom in the gaseous state is known as successive ionization enthalpy. Okay, so every time we have to supply some energy, and that is known as successive ionization enthalpy. Suppose this is my M stands for any metal or element, gaseous state. I have removed first electron, so it is changing to M plus. Now since 1 electron is lost, I have to supply some energy, so this is delta H1. Okay, this is how your ionization enthalpy is denoted. Delta stands for change, H stands for enthalpy, 1 stands for removing the first electron. Now since I have to supply the energy, what is the sign of delta H1? It is positive. Whenever energy is supplied, the process is endothermic. Endothermic means the magnitude is positive. Okay, plus sign is there. And so whenever the energy is released, according to convention, minus is kept before the value. That is exothermic process. Here energy is supplied, so delta H1 is positive, whatever value it is. Now, if I want to remove the second electron, then the second electron is removed from the M plus cation. It will change to M2 plus. Another electron is lost, and the energy which I have supplied is delta H2. Suppose I want to remove the third electron. So it is lost from the M2 plus cation now. So M2 plus will again lose the electron, and it will change to M3 plus. And whatever energy we have supplied, that is delta H3. So 3 electrons are lost, and I have supplied the energies. First is delta H1, then delta H2 and delta H3. Now are the 3 values same? Because every time we are removing one electron only, or are the 3 values different? Now the answer is the 3 values are different. And what is the order? Delta H3 is greater than delta H2 is greater than delta H1. Means it is very difficult to remove the third electron, then second and then first. Or first electron is lost very easily. Then more energy will be supplied to remove the second. And again more energy will be supplied to remove the third electron. This is the order of ionization enthalpy. Now what is the reason behind this? The reason is after removing the first electron, your neutral atom changes to cation. And whenever the atom changes to cation, now just recall that atomic radius of cation is smaller than parent atom, because in cation the effective nuclear charge increases. What was effective nuclear charge? Effective nuclear charge means protons are now more than electrons. So after removing the first electron from neutral atom, cation is formed in which the effective nuclear charge increases, protons are greater than electrons. Therefore, it is difficult to remove the second electron from the M plus. So in this M plus now effective nuclear charge is more, because now protons are more than electrons in this M plus. So more energy will be required to remove the second electron from this M plus. Okay, so delta H2 is more than delta H1. Now M2 plus is formed. Okay, now this M2 plus, what will happen? Now this M2 plus, again in this M2 plus effective nuclear charge will further increase, because electrons are continuously decreasing, protons are same. Suppose it is having 10 protons and suppose it is having 11 protons and 11 electrons. Now it is having 11 protons and 10 electrons. So effective nuclear charge is more. It is having 11 protons and 9 electrons. So as we move from here to here, my effective nuclear charge is increasing. So M2 plus is having greatest effective nuclear charge. So again it is difficult to remove the third electron from M2 plus. So delta H3 will be highest. So what is the order? Delta H3 is greater than delta H2 is greater than delta H1. And what is the reason behind this? Increase in the effective nuclear charge. So this was all about the theory part of your second periodic property, that is ionization enthalpy. What is the meaning of ionization enthalpy? Definition you must know. On what factors the ionization enthalpy depends. How ionization enthalpy varies along a period, and along a period we have seen two exceptions, okay, and along a group what is the variation of ionization enthalpy that we have to learn, and what is the magnitude of successive ionization enthalpy. And in the next class we are going to discuss some questions which are based on this second periodic property. Good morning students. In the previous class we discussed the concept of ionization enthalpy. Okay, now I think the concept is clear to you now, that what is ionization enthalpy, what are the factors which affect ionization enthalpy. Okay, now today we'll be solving some examples which are based on the concept of ionization enthalpy. Okay, now try to understand. The first question is, which of the following pairs of elements would you expect to have lower ionization enthalpy? Okay, so I have given pairs of elements, and out of these two you have to select that element which has lower ionization enthalpy. So we have to apply the concept, that is, as we move down the group, ionization enthalpy increases. As we move from left to right in a period, ionization enthalpy increases. Elements having stable, half filled and fully filled configuration have very high ionization enthalpies. Okay, so let's solve the first question. Now first is chlorine or fluorine. Now fluorine and chlorine are in a group. Okay, this is the position of fluorine and chlorine in the periodic table. They belong to the same group. And as we move down the group, what happens? Ionization enthalpy decreases. So out of fluorine and chlorine, which has lower ionization enthalpy? My answer is chlorine. Clear? Now the second question, chlorine or sulfur. Okay, now sulfur and chlorine are placed in the periodic table like this. Okay, these are in a period, third period. Sulfur atomic number 16, chlorine atomic number 17. Okay, so as we move from left to right in a period, I know that ionization enthalpy increases. So which element is having lower ionization enthalpy? Definitely the answer is sulfur. The third is potassium or argon. Okay, now argon is my noble gas. Okay, so what are the noble gases? Group 18 elements: helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. Okay, so these are the members of group number 18. So potassium or argon. Now out of this, which is having lower ionization enthalpy? Now argon is a noble gas, and noble gases have fully filled configurations, stable configurations. Okay, they don't have any tendency to lose electrons. So definitely their ionization enthalpy is highest. So my answer is now third one, it is potassium. Okay, now fourth is neon and argon. Now you see helium, neon, argon. Okay, so they are in a group. Neon and argon are placed like this. Down the group, ionization enthalpy decreases now. So which is having lower ionization enthalpy? The answer is argon. Okay, now what is the meaning of lower ionization enthalpy? That if I want to remove the electron, I have to supply less energy. Is this clear? So this is my first example. Now the second example. The electronic configurations for some neutral atoms are given below. Okay, so I am providing you some electronic configurations. Okay, now let's see. Now the first element is A. The configuration is 1s2, 2s2. The second element is B. The configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. The third element is C. The configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. And the fourth element is D. The configuration is 1s2, 2s2 and 2p3. Now I told you how the electrons are filled in the orbitals. 1s, 2s, 2p. These are basically the orbitals. Okay, now we have that sheet in which I told you how shells are divided into subshells, subshells are divided into orbitals, and ultimately in these orbitals the electrons are filled. Okay, one orbital can occupy only 2 electrons. Okay, s orbital is always single, p orbitals are 3 in number. Okay, so this is how the electrons are filled. Now my question is, which of these electronic configurations would you expect to have highest IE1 and second IE2? IE1 means energy required to remove the first electron, and IE2 means the energy required to remove the second electron. Okay, now this is the solution. The first element is A, 1s2, 2s2. Now 1s2, 2s2 means 2 electrons are present in 1s orbital and 2 electrons are present in 2s orbital. So the atomic number should be 4 now, and atomic number 4 means this element is nothing but it is beryllium. The element B is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and 3s1. So how many electrons are total? 2 electrons are present in 1s, 2 electrons are present in 2s, 6 are present in 2p. So these are fully filled, and 1 electron is present in 3s. So 2, 4, 10 and 11. So 11, it is sodium now. The element C is 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. Now count the total number of electrons: 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is nothing but it is oxygen. And element D is 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. So it is 7, that is nitrogen. Okay, so these are the 4 elements. Now what we'll do, first we'll place them according to their position in the periodic table. Now beryllium, nitrogen and oxygen belong to second period. So these are placed like this. Okay, 4, 7 and 8. And sodium belongs to third period. Okay, it is like this. So this is the position of these 4 elements in the periodic table. Now as we move from left to right, my ionization enthalpy increases, and as we move down the group, my ionization enthalpy decreases. It means sodium is having least ionization enthalpy. Now beryllium, nitrogen and oxygen, which is having highest IE1, that is ionization enthalpy, the energy required to remove the first electron. The answer should be oxygen, because as we move from left to right, the ionization enthalpy increases. But here the answer is nitrogen, because if you remember, we have learned 2 exceptions in a period. Ionization enthalpy of beryllium is more than boron, and ionization enthalpy of nitrogen is more than oxygen. So nitrogen is having highest IE1 because nitrogen has a stable half-filled configuration. See this, nitrogen 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. Okay, 2p is having a capacity of 6 electrons, but it is half-filled, and half-filled configuration is stable. So which is having highest IE1? My answer is D, that is nitrogen. Now highest IE2. Okay, now how to solve the second part of this question? After losing 1 electron, suppose I have removed one electron from all these 4. The configurations will change to, now A will be 1s2, 2s1. Now all these have acquired +1 charge. Okay, so now it is A plus, it is B plus, it is C plus and it is D plus now. So it is 1s2, 2s1, 1 electron is removed. Okay, and whenever you are removing electron, it is removed from outermost orbital. Now B will change to, B was 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. Now electron is removed from 3s. So B is now 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. C will become 1s2, 2s2. It was 2p4. Now it will become 2p3. And D will become 1s2, 2s2 and 2p2 now. 1 electron I have removed from all these 4 elements. Now carefully look at the configurations. Okay. Now if you see the configuration of second element B plus, it is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. First orbital is filled, second is also filled, and 2p is fully filled. Means it is equal to now noble gas configuration. So which is having highest IE2? That is B, because of the stable noble gas configuration. Okay, now moving on to the third solved example, that is arrange the following in the decreasing order of first ionization enthalpy. Okay, so I'm giving you 4 elements and you have to arrange them in the decreasing order of first ionization enthalpy. Now what are the elements? Boron, carbon, aluminium and silicon. So how to start with this question? So first we will arrange them according to their position in the periodic table. Boron and carbon belong to second period. Aluminium and silicon belong to the third period. Okay, and boron and aluminium are in the same group and carbon and silicon are in the same group. Okay, as I told you earlier, you have to learn the members of second as well as third period. Okay, the questions will come from both the periods, mixed questions will come. So this is how 4 elements are placed in the periodic table. Left to right, ionization enthalpy increases. Down the group, ionization enthalpy decreases. Okay, now down the group, ionization enthalpy decreases. It means boron and carbon have more ionization enthalpy than aluminium and silicon. Okay, So boron and carbon have more. Okay, and out of boron and carbon, which is having more ionization enthalpy? Carbon, because left to right my ionization enthalpy again increases. So out of these four elements, which is having highest ionization enthalpy, the first is carbon. So carbon is having maximum. Okay, we have to arrange them in the decreasing order. Decreasing means more to less. So carbon is having highest ionization enthalpy. Afterwards boron will come. Okay, now out of aluminium and silicon, which is having more? Definitely silicon, because it is to the right of periodic table. So silicon is having more, and last aluminium will come. So this is the decreasing order. Okay, decreasing order means more to less. Okay, so you have to put proper sign in the order. Now few assignment questions are there for you. Okay, so try to solve the assignment questions, and if any problem is there, you can text me the message. The first question is, from each set choose the atom which has the largest ionization enthalpy. Okay, only a single element you have to choose. Fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen is the first set. Magnesium, phosphorus, argon is the second set. Oxygen, fluorine, neon is the third set. The second question is, arrange the elements nitrogen, phosphorus, oxygen and sulfur in the order of increasing first ionization enthalpy. So what you will be doing, arranging them according to the periodic table, and then you will be solving this question. Okay. The third is, give reasons. Ionization enthalpy of beryllium is greater than boron. This you can find in the previous video lessons. And ionization enthalpy of nitrogen is greater than oxygen. Okay. So these are the three assignment questions.